Hello everybody, I'm Joe the Freelance and we are back into Final Fantasy XI. Tonight, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Typically I've been doing leveling stuff or doing story-related things. Tonight we're going to do some magic learning. So, I'm currently on my Blue Mage, and Blue Mage I believe got introduced in Final Fantasy V. I've talked about it previously before. Blue Mages typically get their magic from monsters or enemies in particular. So it's monster magic, essentially. The way to get it is slightly novel, somewhat annoying. So essentially, I have to watch enemies do their moves, and then I potentially can learn it. So I have a bunch of spells, like the first up to level 20 jobs already picked, spells already looked up, and we're going to go get them. I've actually gotten a couple bits of magic. I've got Cocoon and Pollen. So this was from a Wasp. This is my first healing spell. Cocoon is from the Crawlers, and that increases my defense. But you can get everything from disabling enemies to interruptions to buffs for yourself, debuffs for enemies, all kinds of stuff. And honestly, because of all that, it actually is one of my favorite jobs because it's so varied. So, I've kind of gone through all the areas to figure out, okay, where are we most likely going to be finding them, and kind of trying to hit multiples out of a zone. So, I don't know how fast this is going to go. If it goes faster, we'll go learn more spells. But I'm imagining that the 17 or so spells that I've got looked up right now is going to be fine. It's going to be decent for what we need. So, once again, I don't know how long it's going to take. We could get through all these within like an hour, and I'll have to go do something else, because it's also random chance. There's things that you can do to enhance your potential of getting a spell learned, but I don't have any of them. So, we're going to have to see where we can go with that. We're going to go to the mines, Bastock Mines, and we're going to go outside into Gustaberg, because there's 2 or 3 things we can find out here that we actually can fight. So, like I said, it's going to depend on how quickly things go. Because of this, a lot of this stuff is actually really low level. I might have to change up my options and actually go for stuff that is higher level than the basics. So this is an interesting bit. Because how Blue Mage learns stuff, there's going to be somewhat of a question of, do I have to have raised my blue skill level? I ended up looking this all up. Apparently, the enemy only has to use the move. It does not matter if it hits you or misses or anything like that. As long as they use the move, there's a chance I will learn it. So, we're going to have 1 Trust Out. King of Hearts. Now, why King of Hearts? Because he will cast Refresh on himself and me. And I'm the only one who really needs it, and that's the only way we really need to have it. So, our first option is to find worms. They do a move that you guys have seen. It's Sand Spin, which I believe lowers accuracy and does damage. Thankfully, I'm still using a Wax Sword, which is like 1 point of damage. So we're going to attack this thing, and then, whoop! Well, that might actually be a problem. If the worms are so weak that I can't... Oh, dear. Okay. Well, maybe we can find something different. Let's see. We need to find... If I'm so strong that I can't even attack the worms here, we might have to go find higher level worms. That's not good. We don't need to attack the hornets, but we do need to go find walking saplings. So yeah, a bunch of this is actually going to be me sitting in one spot and letting them just kind of hit me. I'm not particularly worried about that because there's stuff I can do. I can heal myself a little bit with Pollen, so I can actually do that. I can also increase my defense with Cocoon. So, and in fact, those were 2 really nice spells to get because I'm able to use them to keep myself more or less alive, and it's not much of a problem. I think headbutt I also got from... Oh, no, I got them from that. Yes, we still need to find the walking sprouts. Also time to show my... Venomous. I think that is a notorious monster. We can also find the... Ah, there's walking saplings. To our left. The problem is that for me to actually get into doing the fights and stuff like that, kinda have to engage the enemy, and I don't have anything like super light that I can use that will be beneficial. Let me see. Headbutts can also come from the Quadavs. All Quadavs can use it. Okay, so well, that doesn't help either. I actually might be okay. Maybe I don't need to have it for the time being. Because if I start attacking something, he's going to attack something, and I can't tell him to stop. So, we're going to try and attack a couple different enemies here. Okay. Now, from what I was reading is that monsters in typical will go all the way up to 300% of their own tactic points, 300 points of their tactic points before they'll even... Yeah, the 3,000. I'm getting my numbers confused. Before they'll use their tactical stuff. If their health gets below 25%, they'll use it at 1,000. So it's more likely to hit the enemies, get them low, so they use their ability more often. And they will use their abilities more often. Good. Because of how high level I am, I could potentially go grab several enemies and have them come attack me. So I'm getting pummeled by multiple things. So they're all kind of going at me. Just have to be really careful that none of them kind of walk in front of me, so I don't just immediately attack them. I think the only way I'm going to get the worms in this area to do it is if I get them with a low level... Oh, don't attack that. No, don't attack that. Is if I have them hit with like a really low level something, which I don't really have. Okay, now we're pointed away from all these enemies, and we're just gonna sit there until they use the moves. So from the Quadavs, we have to get Headbutt, First Interruption spell. The Walking Saplings send out Sprout Smack, which I think does slow. Yes. Remember, they only have to use the move. They don't have to hit me with it. Though I think, well, I don't know how accurate this is because there was a lot of conceptions about the game when I previously played that actually do not equate to anything. See, the thing is that majority of the time, they're just missing me because I'm such a higher level that they probably can't even hit me. And this is where this is where the game gets boring. Large majority of the time, they just can't hit me. I should be able to just kind of run around, and they'll never disengage from me. I'm trying to remember because I think you can get a bomb attack from the goblins, but I don't know which ones do it. Oh, they ran in front of me. I guess I could just disengage them. It's a matter of them just even hitting me is the biggest problem. See, I think that's the biggest problem, is that I'm actually going to get hit by a lot of stuff, but it's fairly rarely not going to hit me. Here, let's do my pollen. I'll heal myself for some health, but I don't really need to do it. We might have to swap things up, might have to change things up to where I'm actually attacking things that are higher level. That can actually hit me. So we might have to run to different locations than I'm expecting. And unfortunately, there's no way to go around this. I just have to fight stuff. The problem is that for the saplings to get Sprout Smack, the highest low level something is between 18 and 21. The next level is 66 to 68. So it's a giant jump. The headbutt can be learned from kind of everything, but it looks like the best place is potentially in the past. So we could try learning sleep spell. We could try learning sheep song, which is basically an AoE sleep from the sheep. Looks like you could learn from a bunch of different places. And that one's a little different because that one actually, I could use that to actually trigger a bunch of enemies. Here, let's do this. We need to go back this way, I think. They're just gonna follow me for a second here. I want to see the lizard drops do a spell for you, and I'm not sure what it is. Go to magic. Let's see. Yeah, bomb toss. That's where it is. It's level 28. You know, it actually might be better to actually go running around to things that are actually closer to my level, so I'm actually having to fight them, and they're more likely to hit me. Getting stuff at level 60 that's, you know, like level 3 is kind of annoying. Let's go ahead and grab 3 of each. Ah, he just did it. One of them just hit me with Sprout Smack. Unfortunately, I don't know which one did it. I won't know if I've learned the spell until the end of the battle. There's supposedly a message that shows up. Because I got it. I did get Sand Spin, though. I got Sand Spin earlier, so we don't need to do that. That's good. Okay, so we can mark that one off. We'll just kind of sit here and just chill. Must have gotten that earlier today when I got leveled up to 60. Because I was fighting worms in Esha, so... So, the interesting thing about blue magic is that you can set spells. So you can set up to 16 spells, and they give you stats and stuff. So, you see here, I get Vitality from Cocoon, I get Charisma and HP, I also gain Resist Sleep. If I attach Sand Spin, I get in Vitality, and it makes everything go down. I think what we'll do is we'll go around going to higher level enemies. So if we go to the saplings, we could go find tree and saplings at Wadrum Woodlands, which is Ottergon, and we can go fight them. There's more likely a chance that they'll get me there. Now, why am I not fighting higher stuff? It looks here by the spell attainment. Galliu, please come on in. So it looks like the blue magic skill required to learn. So, because my skill is so low... Here, we can do this. Watch. Bash. Anyway, so because my magic is so low, at 11, we have to have at least that much skill. Hello, Galliu. Sorry for jumping right in when you were on ads, but I'm here, and hopefully you'll stay for a little bit. We are currently right now going to try and find some blue mage spells. So, I think we're going to change things around. We're going to go to different areas that are higher level and try fighting stuff there, and that will get us what we need. So, we're going to go ahead and run ourselves out to Ottergon, to Wadrum Woodlands, find the treants there, and have them smack us. So I originally thought is that we do this by going out to, by going by level in certain areas. It looks like it's going to take a really, really long time for that to happen as of right now. So let's change things up. Because legitimately, I don't want to spend absolutely forever trying to do these things. And it's not particularly riveting to watch me just get hit by things. So if we actually work on stuff... Oh, you know what we can do? We can actually work on, like, area goals. Because I have to do that for a bunch of areas, too. Let's see. Now, if I go to... oh, let me do this first. Oh, sure, thank you. what? There's a way to get rid of the buffs. I don't remember how to do it. No, I do have a spell. I do have a set of food that I can use. Let me look this up. Because the buff I have right now is just something I had, but it's not what I'm looking for, so. There's something I have to hit specifically that doesn't. I remember I did this earlier at some point. Maybe I can't get rid of it. Maybe because it's the food that I have. I don't know. We need to still use... I'm gonna use this Trust Primer if I can. Why won't it let me? I find that so odd. Okay. Do we want the Earth doublet or the... Yeah, we'll do this one, because it gives me dexterity. Let's see. Now, if I take this out to... Water gone. Maybe I don't have a book. A little odd. Anyway, let's go ahead and head out here. I'm now level 60, so fighting level 66 to 68 won't be hard, necessarily. Just getting out there is the issue. So. We're also going to want to do... Hello, Zach. We're learning blue magic today. Yeah, so I need to run over and get... We need to go get the thing, then we're going to go run out and see if we can get some spells. I want sanction. Now, please. Thank you. Okay. over here and into the back way out of here. Okay. Now, for this, we need to actually get our group of trust out. Let's see. Oh, I remember the Colibri also have spells. Lesser Colibri have something that I learn, but I can't yet. So, let's see. Summon. Summon. Do I want to have King of Hearts out? Yeah, you know, it won't hurt, honestly. King of Hearts out. Because I don't have any way to do, I don't have any way to refresh myself. So, eventually I do learn it, but I don't learn it for quite some time. So, let's see. Mount. Ixion. Okay. Let's go find ourselves some treants and try and learn the spell. Bum, bum, doo, 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 doo. Lesser Colibris. Ugh! The woods are infested with them. Now, okay, the map does not show where they are. We're gonna have to do a little roaming, I think. Okay. You know, and I think that's one of the things that is really annoying when you play any Final Fantasy game, especially if you play fresh. If there are blue mage stuff, you have to go get the spells. And that's probably the most annoying part of it. Once you get it, once you get to the spells, it's awesome. But until you get the spells, it's kind of rough. Okay, I'm seeing Marids. So I was able to find out that there's food that allows me to increase my magical skill up, which is what I showed you guys. So I will, once that buff is actually active, I will gain skill ups a lot faster, which is kind of paramount to me actually getting this done. Just have to find out where the treants are. Not having a whole lot of luck at the moment. One thing I did like about the design of these areas is that usually the long tunnels between the big clearings and stuff, they're free of enemies. So you could always set up an XP farm somewhere in there, just out of range, so you could drag stuff in. Ah, here we are. Here's our saplings. Now, I want to make sure that I'm careful and don't get more than I can actually handle. Very tough. Fine by me. That works. Now, because they're so high level, I actually can't sit here and let it pummel me. I just have to fight. I also don't have to be the target of these things. I just have to see them in action. So I'm going to go ahead and activate Cocoon so I'm a little more defensible. Okay, there's Sprout Slap. Ow! Oh yeah, that's what tree ants look like in this game. They turn out they start out with these little saplings, and then they turn into these monstrosities. Yeah, I was afraid that we were going to get a little heavy on the damage here. Unfortunately, I don't have any good way to pull things at the moment. Once I get something like Queasy Shroom or whatever, that will make it easier. Oh, I'm asleep still. Ah! That's not good. Oh, come on. Wake up. Thank you. So I can fight. We can get our spells back. We can get our healing back. Oh, gosh. Whew. Moon back up again if I can. Oh, we're all asleep. Okay, so I want to see, does it show anywhere here? I don't think so. Unfortunately, the magic is built specifically for me, so I can't share the healing unless it's an AoE heal. Now, I can do this. This will help a little bit, I think. The blue magic skill went up, but it doesn't say... I see no message that says that I've learned the spell. Maybe it could be in the chat. In my config for chat. Chat filters. I don't know. Go into my magic here. Didn't learn it. Okay. So I just didn't learn that time. Tallow. It's good to see you. Been a little bit. Okay. Now, there's another tree up there. Darn it, I wish I had some kind of ranged spell. I don't, though. Okay, we'll just have to be careful again. See, and this is one of those things that you really should be doing as you level up, is going and getting spells. That kind of was what you had to do previously. It's a little harder to do it now, I would assume, because as quickly as you level up, you get to the point where you're actually leveling up so quickly that it gets harder at some point to actually learn the spells. Ah, learn Sprout Smack. There it is. So I got that spell. Cool. Now, while we're out here, is there anything that we can learn? Because I hate leaving this area if there's nothing else we can learn kind of in these areas. Let's see. Let me go ahead and hide chat for a second so I can actually look. No? Okay. No. Unfortunately, some of this I might not be able to get because the enemies are going to be so low level or either going to be very much below my level or very much above my level. Makes it rough. I'm not saying it can't be done, I'm just going to say it's going to be hard. / annoying. Okay, and once it gets high enough level, I'm actually running into issues where my magic skill isn't high enough. So it looks like I can do how many spells at my current level? It looks like I can learn 10 so far. There's nothing else we can do in this area, though, so we're going to have to move around and figure stuff out. There's some stuff we can learn in the past, though, so I think that's what we're going to do this time. Now, we can go to Kadarvi Mire. I don't remember a good way to get there. I think we have to go use the warp. Yeah, we have to go use the Remnant's warp, I think. But that can take us out to the sheep, and they can teach us a sheep song. Wild caracals out in Kadarva Mire. They're a little higher level, and they will put me to sleep. That's just kind of a guarantee. But I think we'll be okay. So, let me see. I think that's the only shame about blue magic stuff. It's kind of a pros and cons, is that one, you get to run around the entire world finding enemies to fight that will give you the spells. But on the other hand, you have to run around to a bunch of areas to get the spell. So you might go out to a far-off zone that you can't necessarily teleport directly to go learn from a very specific area, from a very specific enemy. And then if you get it in one shot, or if it takes you 1 minute or, 10 hours or something like that, you sit there until you learn the spell, and then you have to hike back. I think that's the only really annoying part. Not to mention that even though the mounts are much better than what used to be for just walking, they're still kind of slow. Not to mention if you go to maps that have confusing pathways like the jungles or you have to go someplace like one of the dungeons to get to enemies or something like that, it just can be annoying. Thankfully, they've made it so that it's not specific enemies, like you don't get like one enemy in one area. It's like there's a whole family of enemies that use this ability that you can learn it from. So we'll eventually come back here because there's enemies here that we have to learn stuff. I know that the Lesser Colibris give something. I do remember distinctly that. Now, the fact that I'll be able to learn these spells with more relative ease now, because I can get around to all these different areas, I'm not concerned. Back in the day, if you wanted to do it solo, you had to figure out how to fight things without killing them too quickly, but also in such a way that you could support yourself, so you weren't just sitting there getting beaten until you were half dead, and then trying to survive, rest yourself up, and then do it all over again. Let's see, is there a warp over here? No. Now, I don't remember where... So I don't know where the caracals are going to be. I'm sure I've ran past them while I've been out there. I just don't remember. It's been far too long since I've been in these areas. So. We're going to try and be efficient by running around to specific areas to actually fight stuff, so I'm not jumping from here to here to here to here to here. I'm trying to stay in a region. So... there should be one for Arpago Islands. Yes, let's go out to Nashmau. And then we'll jump into there from there. Now, the next lower level that I could go to would be Budo or Lufay's Meadows, but it's like half or Missouri Coast, but not as viable in my opinion because it's half the level, and I'm gonna have to sit there while they try and use their ability. I'd rather fight something at level or kind of at my leveling position and actually be making some progress in terms of XP, as well as having them actually hit me so they can actually do their attacks. Now there's someone specifically that I have to drop out and do this, and I think it's Koltada. Here, let's make a new group for blue, specifically. Trust, we bring out King of Hearts. Whoop, that's Koromoru. Okay, we're gonna do save blue. Now I can just summon the group of blue and we're good. Let's see. Now, abilities popped up. Let's see if we can go find ourselves the sheep. I might need to run back into town and go on the other side. You also find out that a good chunk of the time when you go fight enemies, it's really nasty. I think you at one point learned Bad Breath. Bad Breath is a very well-known spell to both learn and to be against, and it's lousy to try and learn. Okay, we need to go back into town and go through to the other side, because there aren't any miracles here. What level is my magic moment? 14. Okay. We have to get it to at least 20 plus for us to keep going. No, as far as I've been, there's some high wind. I got a high wind warning on my phone, but I'm not going to get a big snowstorm, which I'm both happy and sad about, because I would love to have. We really need the moisture over here, but also don't have to deal with a lot of the heavy snow. So, hopefully, it's not too bad for you guys. I know those snowstorms are hitting in Minnesota. Woo! My gosh. Yeah, do be careful. Okay, now. Wait a second for it to load. Okay, let's go find a sushi. You know, it's interesting. When I was a kid, I always would be annoyed about storms or something like that, because it always ruined playtime or whatever. But nowadays, now that I know, kind of, because I live in an arid region, you know, it's like, anytime we get moisture, I'm happy. Even if it makes things absolutely horrible to be outside. You know, if I have to travel anywhere, I hate being out in the snow now, because I've had a couple of skidding crashes from snowfall and stuff like that in recent years. So I've gotten a healthy fear of it, at least in driving specifically. Okay, could have come out here for the treants. Sheesh. Can't go that way. Gotta go this way. Uh-huh. Well, and that's the thing, is that if it's thick snow, I don't necessarily have as much problem with that, unless it instead of like the half-inch you get, because then it's really slick. The problem is that even though I can go slow, here they are. Even though I don't mind going slow, especially if it's really coming down. I mean, that happened. We were having a snowstorm. It's been a couple weeks now. I went to go get my hair cut, and when I nearly had my crash that day, because people just don't have a healthy enough respect for the snow, I think. Yeah, we really have not gotten a lot of snow. I think that was one good snowstorm that we had, the one I just mentioned, and it wasn't even very good. I mean, it was, we had snow for under 3 days. It was really annoying. And I remember as a kid, and I probably told the story before, when I was a kid, it was not uncommon for us to get snowed on Halloween, where everybody was so cold, all the kids wanted to go out trick-or-treating, but you couldn't get to see their costumes because they all had to wear the winter coats and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Or, the way I've been seeing it recently in a bunch of years past is that we won't get snow, or we'll get light snow sometime in between November and December, and we'll get heavy snow in January. That had not actually happened this year. The first time it's not happened, where we've gotten like barely any snow. Ah, I forgot about the Chicos. Goodbye, Chico. My little stinker. Believe me, I would very much prefer to have snow for a good chunk of the year, especially at this time of the year, because everything's dead. There's no leaves on the trees, and the grass is kind of dead. No flowers. There's nothing looks alive, and I hate that look. I love it when it's all covered in a fresh coat of snow.
Oh yeah.
Now, of course, I do live near the Rocky Mountains, so we go into the Uintas, which is a section of the Rocky Mountains, and you can get snow there a good chunk of the year. But we don't get it down in the valleys like normal. We have to go up high. Don't mind getting levels up. He's doing dual Uriels, and it's absolutely wrecking the caracals. Might actually need to change my tank around so we don't not absolutely wrecking everything. Oh no, there's enough caracals around here. There shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, I think that's what's happening, is that the Chigo is specifically targeting me. It won't jump to somebody else. So he'll do Uriels to try and catch the Chigo. Doesn't work. He does it a second time, and I think it's triggering a light skill chain, which is absolutely wrecking the curls. Oh, fell asleep. Get sheep song. That's good. Now, I don't think I learned the magic. I don't think I learned the spell. Nope. I do want to go in here and set the spell. Sprout attack gives me mind. It also gives me beast killer. Oh, that's right. Each of the blue magic spells also has points. I can have a max of 40 points used. So you sometimes won't even fill up the 16 spell slots. Because some spells are just really, really expensive. At night, the sheep go to sleep. Food effect dropped off, so I can actually use up these PEW Patarus. Buffalo egg and winter flower, 3 great tastes that go great together. Increases rate of magical skill gains by 80%. That's the big one. I think the Chicos also give you something as well. I don't know what the move is, but you'll learn something from them in turn. Okay, didn't learn it yet. But I'm aware. Try it again. Up. Cheap song. There we go. Now, you might be wondering, why do I keep checking to see if I've learned the magic spell? Because there's a chance I might not read it in the chat. It's the same color as everything else, meaning that it could be hard for me to... I might miss it. So I think I don't have the spell, but I actually learned it. I mean, at the beginning of the stream, it actually showed I had learned Sand Spin. I didn't catch that I'd learned it. Never hurts to check. But bounce, bounce, bounce. Here, we'll actually grab 2 this time. One. Sheep song. Good. Oh, Zach, I wanted to tell you, I got Mindustry during the current Steam Fest. At some point, I'll stream it. I'll put it on stream. It looked cool. I like it. It looks like a bit of, from what I saw of it, it looks like it's like Creeper World and Shapes combined. Is kind of how I looked at it. The way I was looking at it, though, it looks like it's still not fully released. Is it still being worked on? Because it said stuff about beta testing, like certain things were getting beta tested for like upgrades, for like upgrading the engine and like, was it JavaScript or something? So it actually is fully released, but there's potentially upgrading for newer computer systems and stuff like that. Okay. It did look pretty interesting, though. Yeah, I do want to stream it at some point, though. I want to stream those Creeper games, because those are actually pretty fun. I really like the Creeper games. The Creeper World games. Nope, not yet. In my opinion, a single-person developer making a game like that is an extremely brave thing to do. I give kudos to anybody who tries that, because it is not easy. And it looks like it's a good game. It looks like it's been thought out really well, and it's got interesting design to it and stuff. So. Oh, okay. Yeah, aren't those really... Those typically are, like, the best games, though. Peak was something... I don't think it was, I don't think it was for, like, a contest or anything like... It wasn't like an itch.io... It wasn't like a games jam or something like that. Yeah, Peak, I think they went to the people who did... what was the other game that... I think they talked to some of the developers of Repo, I think. It was one of the other games. I can't remember what other small game came out that was very much... Oh, no, it was, Cut Content, I think it was. It was the devs that did Cut Content, which was kind of the horror group co-op experience where you go down with a video camera and try videotaping crazy stuff. And then you go back and upload the video, essentially. So you're trying to do like Blair Witch style camera content, and trying to get better views and stuff. And it often ended in people dying or getting caught in traps or whatever, and just being absolutely hilarious. I think they talked to those people, and within a month says like, we have this idea, we'd like to make this game. How quickly can we do it? And they aimed for about a month, I think. That's what they aimed for. Ah, why'd we get to Janoon? Oh, because I went down to low enough health, I think. Ow. Incredibly tough. I might be in trouble. I might be. I don't know. Let's focus on the Caracal. Get that down. Okay. Back this thing, please. Sand spin. Crowd smack. Did it take? I can't see if it did. It might not have. Nope, it did. He's currently slowed. Go ahead and throw Cocoon back on. There we go. Whew. Good. You were not invited, Janoon, so there. I don't know if we're going to get very far with the Blue Mage stuff tonight, because we've been out for more than an hour, and we've only learned one spell. So the interesting thing about Blue Mage is that it's extremely customizable in terms of what you can do. When you set spells, they can give you stat increases, but they can also do other stuff like other effects. So you can actually gain job traits from other stuff, like I showed you before. When I had the setting spells, so this one gives me Beast Killer, which is something that Beastmaster normally gets. Meaning that beast-type enemies can sometimes get intimidated. So like a single turn stun, essentially. Or browse or something like that. Sometimes you can combine spells and they will give you other stuff. Like, connect 2 or 3 of these types of spells together and you'll get auto regen, which White Mage has. So you'll automatically you have auto regen on yourself. And then I want to say that you can even get dual wield for some spells. Now, it is affected by your level, I think, so you can't sink down to like level 40-something and have dual wield. I don't think. I don't remember. But for a long time, people would do Ninja with Blue Mage for more versatility. If they didn't want to do Ninja, they could do Dancer. Eventually, when Abyssia came out, they said, hey, why don't we give more stuff to Blue Mage to make it a little bit more viable? So the first couple spells that they gave you were stuff that gave you hate. You could cast Self-Haste, and you could also put Refresh on yourself. And I think if you combined one other spell with one of those, it gave you Dual Wield as a job trait. I'm asleep. I'm no longer asleep. Ah, you absolute stinker. Level 64. my gosh. I think it was just having at it. Now, if I remember correctly, I looked up ways to make it so then you have a higher chance of learning spells. I think some of the Blue Mage armor that you get, some of the artifact armor, actually gives a increased chance of Blue Mage skill learn or whatever. Maybe I should do that between here and the next stream to kind of work on that. And there's the Caracol dead. Being out here is still really good though because I'm also gaining assault points. Or I should be getting. Pretty sure I am. Getting besieged points. Yeah, the Imperial Standing. I am getting Imperial Standing, which is nice. Okay, got Sheep Song. Level 20. Like to see it. Chico, I know you're going to show up at some point. And the reason why the Chicos show up is that they're meant to kind of mimic any kind of like parasitic insect. It's getting attracted by the blood as we smack the animals. So it's showing up because it wants the blood. Like any kind of carrion fly that would show up to find carcass or something. The fact? Oh, do you know why? Because this entire time, I was not level 20. I have to be at least level 20 to start learning it. I hit that goal, though, so now we do have a chance of learning Sheep Song. My gosh. don't know why people listen to me. Sometimes I'm completely miss a very obvious fact. And it makes me look like a bonehead. Every time the sheep song has been going on, except for the last, 3 or 4 fights, I haven't been able to learn it because I wasn't at the stat that I needed to be at. How dumb. Of me specifically. Well, I can just sit here and spam Fallen, though. Certainly helps. Do I have another sword that I could grab? Well, I don't necessarily need another sword, but what's the next sword that I can get? Oh, it might be back in my storage. Cheap song. Okay. Ah, you little insect. $65. Now, if I remember correctly, the sentence I say often enough, I believe that for all the jobs from Ottergon onward, I have to break. I have to do a limit break at 75. Not sure why they made that a rule of you have to go do a limit break. So I think I'll only level up to level 75, and then I can't upgrade any further. Oh well, I'm still making progress in one way or another. Oh, Zach, did you see the other thing about Elite Dangerous? There is a hint that we could potentially have the NPCs upgrade to some of the newer ships, rather than using kind of the default ones they have been. I thought that was interesting. I think there was some concern about if it does actually happen, which I think it would be smart to have more of it out there, because when you're out in the wild, NPCs use all kind of the same standard stuff. If they start using newer things, it certainly would add some variety, especially to like pirates and bounty hunters and assassins and stuff like that. I think there was a concern that if you take all the Federation ships that are currently in the Eagles and put them into the Kestrels, they're going to get a lot harder to fight. I don't see that. I don't think that's really an issue, but I can see why it could be an issue. The Chios certainly aren't making it easier. I've been making good progress on my exploration stuff. Been going back and forth into different zones, trying to find zones that still have exploration things in them. I'm getting there. Got Sheep Song. There we go. We can get out of here. Lovely. A bunch of earth crystals out of this. That's nice. Okay. Okay, Sheep Song is gone. The next spell to get... How did I get out of here? Oh, this way. Okay, we need to go back to North Gustaberg Shadow Rain. Fight stuff that's level 63-ish. and I've really been enjoying Jedi Survivor. I found out, so we get a rooftop garden. We get to invite people back to the saloon, so shops can get opened up and stuff like that. We also get to clean the aquarium and put fish in it that are inside the saloon. So it's adding up to a bunch of other stuff. After you left last night, we got back to town, saw all that, and then we headed off to a new planet, and met some returning characters. So, all right, now. I don't think I have a way to get to Gustaberg Pass really easily, right? It's just to the Gustaberg front. Yeah. So I actually need to take a book. Okay. Now, at this point, they're actually going to be the Quadovs are going to be easy. So we're not going to do the full group. We're going to bring King of Hearts and myself, and that'll be it. Okay. I need to go back into magic. Blue Mage, set spells, Sheep Song, job trait, auto region. That's the campaign fight stuff. Not gonna go try and fight them. I'm gonna see if we can just find some free roaming Quadov. Seen any over here. Cross over the gorge again. Here we are. All right, Zach. Have a good night. Maybe I should actually pull out a tank. Yeah, I think I actually need to pull out a tank. Because I don't think this is going to go as well as I think it is. My concern about pulling a full party through is that we're going to kill too fast for it to actually attack. So... we'll leave and come back. No, the magic spells don't count as tactic moves, I don't think. They shouldn't be so. Let's pull up the full group. Let's see how quickly we get through it. If I get through the enemies too quickly, we'll get rid of Shantoto. She's probably one of the biggest damage dealers. Headbutt is like the signature put off move, so. Oh, or toss is another big one, I guess. Now, at some point, I will get Greasy Shroom, which can be a long-range attack. I make this little shroom pop up and it goes flying off and hits something. So, I've always used this as a pull ability because it's very cheap and it's long-reaching and it can potentially also do poison. So, it also removes all shadows on a target apparently, which makes it even better. learned Headbutt. I think they use something different. It's Headbutt, but they actually use the ability called Shell Bash. I just learned Headbutt, so, and that's one of the best ones because it is a quick casting stun, so it can be a spell interrupt. Okay, so let's see here. Got Headbutt done. Yeah, unfortunately, to get Queasy Shroom, it's a jump between level 19 to 80. You know, it's a huge jump. So I can't quite get that yet. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Foot kick from rabbits is even worse. From 10 to 100. So I can't even get that one yet. Yeah, and the Beatles, it's fighting 23 to 100. Yikes. Which I find fairly funny. A lot of beetles actually use power attack, but apparently you can't learn them from something higher level. Maybe they don't use it. Very odd. Let's see, Battle Dance. We can do that, though. If we go to East, Run Far South. East, Run Far Shall Rain. Oh, I got the hiccups. They're 62 to 64, so the same level as the Quidovs here. They can give us Battle Dance. Teleport assistance. Far front, East Run Far. I'm gonna have to go hunting for them again, but shouldn't be too hard to do. Now, why did I not go grab Sigil since I'm in the past? Sigil actually doesn't work unless you go to operation, the battle operations or the campaign fights, which I thought was a little dumb. Go find us some orcs. some orcs. Oh, Battle Dance. Didn't learn it though. The Battle Dance is par for the course of orcs. It's one of their signature moves. So. Okay. I don't know how quickly the orcs will come back. I would like to go someplace where there's more of them. The more there are, the more time I can farm the spell. nothing this way. I do have a pretty full inventory. I should probably go into town and get rid of some stuff. We'll do that after I get the spell. That was very quick. Wild sheep. Keep heading north. Goblin. Darn, I thought there would be more orcs around here. Apparently not. I guess I could go to Jugner Forest. I think they're a little higher level than I am at the moment. Yeah. 76 to 79 versus me at, what, 65? That's not out of the ballpark. That's not also not as high a favor as I would prefer. I would find more stuff in Jugner Forest because I can go right outside of Laval, and there's lots of them right there. So let's go swing past that little camp that I was at, and if I don't get it there, we'll jump ourselves over to Jugner Forest and fight stuff there. It's going to be higher level, and there's going to be more of them. Ah! Stuck on a wooden barricade. where were they? They were across the river in this little corner. Here they are. Arm block, which is defensive move. Oh! Game of Hearts uses a move called Shovel, which removes his effects. Kinda nice to know. Bell dance. I think also when I look at the magic, if it has this little border around it, it's a physical attack. So I'm doing physical magic versus as well as elemental or just normal magic. Which means that it's also affected in different ways. Yes. Okay. Let's jump over to Jugner. So battle here. I'll dance right there. Oh, for Pete's sakes. Val's gonna get killed here because we're fighting a few too many enemies. We get this one guy down. Nope, we can't. Ah! Run! Run! Ah, what? I can't leave? Oh, that sucks. Ah. Sheesh. Not the worst that could happen. Anyway, we're back in town. Let's go get rid of some stuff in my inventory. So annoyed. Like I couldn't run into Laval. Really, really dumb. Let's see, what can go? Okay, let's go back up to the Mog House. I have some things to throw into storage. Okay. I also need to run over to the auction house, because I think I have a couple spaces open that I need to sell things. We'll get back to it. Okay, so I need to run back over. See what I need to do first? Up to you, my good man. I've got these for you. Keep forgetting to do this. What you give me? Animator P2. Hey, that's actually pretty good. All races. Oh, okay. So it's a big boost for the puppet, but you have to be at least interesting. Okay, well that. Do I have room to put that there? I don't know if I do. One space. Boop. Go back into the past again. Up we go. See if we can get Battle Dance. The biggest issue, I think, is that I just had too many enemies come at me. What we're gonna do. Let's actually not engage in terms of that. Let's just hit it with a spell. And then we run back. Now it's just the only one here. Now you all can attack. Welcome, Grogu. Does not look like that is a good account. is I'm trying not to grab more than one. Grab that one's attention. He literally just walked up to me. Hello, X-Raz-1. Please come on in. We're trying to learn blue mage spells. It isn't just being just a right pain. Come on, do bell dance. Come on, do the bell dance. No, that's aerial wheel. That's the wrong one. Again. At least I'm getting skill points up in blue magic. That's good. It'll be nice when I get a healing spell I can throw onto Val, meaning I can help heal him. The pathfinding in this game is just weird. Okay. Go ahead and throw this up here. Arm block. Want. Stinking thing. Do your battle dance. Come on. There's battle dance. Haven't gotten it. Hello. Come on, you silly thing. There's counter stance. Sprout smack. Nope. Didn't happen. Okay, got through. There's our battle dance. Still no. Annoying. And a Hoplon. Which is level 55 shield. Not bad. Not amazing, though. Sorry if you can hear some barking. It sounds like the next door neighbor's dog is just kind of yapping again. Battle dance, there we are. Finally got it. That's what I cared about. Nice. Okay, let's see. Yeah, as much of these I'm going to struggle to get because nothing's really at the right level for me. I'm not saying that we can't do that. Looks like we're going to warp over to... the Saruda Baruda front. Now we'll do the Saruda front west, Saruda Baruda. Okay, so I have to fight Yagudo for Featherstorm. Alright, on the inside of my ears. Hate it when it starts doing that. Okay, we need to find a camp where we can fight these things without much of an issue. Malaysia. Found some Damels. Now, I think there's a healing ability that I get from Damels, and... yeah, these things are only level 35 to 37, so not the best. Ah, here we are. Hello, Seth. Oh, I forgot. When you set magic, you have to wait for the magic to become available again. I thought that was a thing. get rid of all of the shadows. Okay, well, now I need to find another location where these things might be. Kind of a big map. That's Featherstorm. Oh, sweet. Yay! Learns Featherstorm. Nice. Nice. Wonderful. Okay, so there are a couple places that we can go. If we run back and we warp to Esha, Eshazita, we can actually get a couple more spells in from things there. So let's try that as well. Oh, that's cool. You can actually bring it out, actually drop it out by enemy, by the enemy type. Cool. Okay, we need to teleport to back to Bastock. I'll do. Okay, now we warp over to Quiffham. Off we go. Okay, there's a couple things that we fight in here. We fight the Eshin vultures and the damsels. The damsels, I think, will take will actually put a will actually specify going after very specifically because they give us our next healing spell. I think it's an AoE healing spell. Okay, so we receive key items. I need my modifier. Okay. Warp to Portal 2. Okay, run over to our left here. Here. Restores HP of party members within area of effect. Healing Breeze, that's the one. It's going berserk. I think Whirl of Rage is one that you can get from the weapons? Yeah, Whirl of Rage. Oh, you get a level 83. So you do learn it. It's just very, very, very later. Affect anything? Nope, didn't do anything. Oh, I forgot to mention, Blue Mage is one of the jobs that you can actually use to do cleave farms here in Esha. So kind of an important thing to be able to do. Your Smite of Rage and the... Ow. Actually, a fairly long stun. Quite annoying. Anyway, we have run the course of the night. I'm going to run over to a safe spot to rest for a second here, and I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to get back to it, and I'm going to work on getting a couple more of these spells. Elfheim. Good name. Anyway. So, that's how kind of Blue Mage works. Getting the spells together and off it goes, kind of doing its own thing. So, anyway, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see some of you again soon. Next week, Monday, we're getting back into Jedi Survivor. I'd hope to see some of you there. It's been a really cool game, even though it's been struggling to play it sometimes, just kind of in terms of like loading things up. It's not been doing, my computer's not been doing the best, unfortunately. But it's going well enough, it's not too much of a nuisance. But yeah, we'll be getting back into that. We jumped over to Jeddah, trying to go see Seer, and we ran into Marin, which we were a little surprised by. But we're still trying to make our way to seeing Seer before this big sandstorm comes in and kind of gets us stuck. So we'll be doing that on Monday. I hope you all have a good weekend. By the way, tomorrow's Pi Day, 3/14. So hopefully you're able to go get out and get some pie from somewhere and be able to enjoy that with family, friends, whoever. And yeah. And then St. Patrick's Day, I think starts, is it Tuesday or Wednesday next week? I can't remember. I never can remember the right number, the right date for that. So anyway, I'll see you guys there. But until then, my name is Jedi Freelance. Thank you for joining me on the channel here. If you like my content, go ahead and give me a subscribe on YouTube or a follow here on Twitch. And by all means, I hope to see you again in one of my streams soon. Until then, take care, have a good weekend, and good night.